Well, let's talk to Dr. Arash Aramesh. He's a national security analyst and he's in Houston in Texas. Arash, thanks a lot for joining us morning. It's such an emotive subject. Let's take that emotion out of it and actually look at the mechanics of it. This executive order, this ban is in place for 90 days. What exactly can he do in 90 days?
Well, he is claiming that he's trying to put in place procedures for extreme vetting. So if bad guys want to come here from certain countries, and again, we don't exactly know what, because the 7 countries he listed, including Iran, Iraq, Syria, Sudan, Libya, and Somalia, are not necessarily those countries that, let's say, for instance, played a big role in 9/11 or have played a big role, let's say, financing ISIS or have played a big role financing or arming the Taliban, just to give you an example. Secondly, 2 federal judges, one in the Eastern District of New York, Judge Ann Donnelly, and the other judge in the Eastern District of Virginia, have issued orders. These are federal judges who have issued rulings. They have put a stay on parts of this presidential executive order. That's why today you see many members of Congress, Democrats, Jeff Connolly, for instance, he was in Virginia at the Dulles airport. Other members of Congress were at JFK in Los Angeles and Newark and so on and so forth, asking and telling Customs and Border Patrol agents to comply with federal judges' rulings. Now, here's a little problem. We're going to have a constitutional crisis in this country if Trump, I might say Mr. President Trump, decides or tries not to abide by the rule of law and by judges' orders. At that point, we're going to have a little Andrew Jackson moment when he said, well, Justice Marshall gave his ruling, let him enforce it. That's the stage right now. What's going to play out in the next 90 days is going to be a combination of back and forth in the courthouse. At the same time, probably a back and forth in terms of what the president and his advisors are going to do. A little footnote here. The president issued this executive order in a very untraditional, unorthodox way. Usually presidents, including President Obama, President Bush, Carter, Reagan, Ford, Nixon, Clinton, and Bush the father, before and after, what they did was they sought counsel and they sought advice from the Department of Justice, from White House counsel, from Department of Homeland Security, from Department of State, and any other relevant agency and their lawyers. This time at the White House, sources tell us that the White House tried to do this quietly, quickly, and even told people in the Office of Management and Budget to keep it quiet and not tell other agencies. This is a whole new, brave world, and Trump is doing things differently. Unfortunately, in my opinion, he's doing things much worse.
Okay, we've only got about a minute left, but I just want to look at the countries on this list. You said none of them were involved in financing or arming ISIS. However, that's where they are. They're in Syria and Iraq. None of the countries that were involved in 9/11 are on this ban, but you have Yemen, there's ACAP there. There is a concern and there is a threat coming out of these countries. So do you think it was justified, and do you think it is going to make America a safer place? Because we have seen in Europe fighters from these groups coming over and perpetrating crimes.
And Kimberly, that's Europe. You actually have a common border in the European Union with Turkey, and then Turkey has a border with Syria. In order to come to the United States, first of all, if you're a refugee, it takes about 18 to 36 months. You have to go through 4 rounds of interviews. Department of Homeland Security screening and interview, Department of State screening and interview, FBI screening and interview, and a Department of Defense screening interview. So it's not as if refugees from Syria just get on a plane and get off Los Angeles airport and come here. It takes about 36 months. It's very rigorous. Coming to the U.S. is very different than going to Germany or going to Serbia or going to Croatia or going to France or going to Albania. It's very different. Secondly, yes, you mentioned Syria and Iraq. Iraq, the government is an ally of us. It's an ally of the United States trying to fight. We have advisors on the ground trying to help the Iraqis fight ISIS. And when I say Mr. Trump is being very contradictory, I thought he wanted to join forces with the Russians and also, take the lid off of Assad so he could fight ISIS. Keep in mind, by the way, a lot of these people who are refugees because of ISIS and because of Assad. What Trump is doing is punishing people doubly, not helping those in need and not helping the weak, but actually punishing those women and children in need. Mind you, they have gone through some of the most rigorous process to get to the United States. Mind you, it takes 36 months, and they have to go through several rounds of security screenings after the United Nations hands over their names to American officials. So it's very difficult.
Okay, Arash, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure talking to you.